Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon to my fellow viewers who are watching me. I'm John K. If today is your first time watching my YouTube channel, you are free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So anytime I have a message, you will get it automatically. Thank you so much for being part of John K's TV. All are cordially invited to my teachings. My teachings about politics and religion. Today I want to talk about religion. As often as I talk, sometimes I like to share my mind, my view, my opinion concerning politics, not about European, but compared to European politics. All is about Africa. We want the best outcome for Africa. So brothers and sisters, you are free to watch John K TV. Today I want to share with you about the concept of life and death. The concept of life and death. Many times we sorrow. Many times, and many more. We sorrow about the death of our relatives, our loved ones, our friends, our neighbor, our colleague, or our partner, our wives, our husbands, and many others, our children, and many others. We always sorrow. Yes, it is part of how life goes on. So in my own view opinion, the way I see death is so miserable. Brothers and sisters, death is so miserable. As a matter of fact, death is something that we cannot, if death is human being, is something we can never forgive him. Brothers and sisters, if you agree with me, if death is a human being, we will never forget death, because it is the most miserable thing on earth. Because someone will be young man, will fight until he reach some level. He become rich and richer. Richest. This is how I have to analyze it. He will be richer and richest. One day, we hear this man died suddenly. And as I'm saying, he might be a young man. You hear him suddenly, he died. What happened? Nobody knows. When they brought him to hospital, the doctor said, "I'm sorry, he died long ago." What happened to him? Nobody knows. Sometimes you hear of your relative traveling with a ship. I'm sorry, I'm just giving an emphasis. With a ship, before you see, God forbid, the ship begin to have some problems. Before you see, many people will be sinking down. Even if you can swim in the ocean, my brother, nobody is a friend to the ocean. It is 50-50. You might be saved, you might die. But at the end of the day, many people will die from the ocean. It's one of the sudden deaths. Or a friend or someone you know, family member, is traveling from one place to another place, God forbid, all of a sudden you heard the plane have crashed and all the people on board lost their life. It's very sad. You hear a bus crash in accident, many people will die, some people will also survive. You hear bombing, an attack during civil war, many people will be killed and they will die. Every kind of death is a miserable death, whether shooting or knife, choking of knife, or normal death. All is sad. The way I can see it's not so sad, the old aged people, when they grow like 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, or 110 years, when they die, those ages are not so sad, if I may say. You might love this grandmother, grandfather so much, but when he died, that area of age, it's not so painful, if I should say. Where it's painful is a young aged person, young aged man, young aged woman who have started life, and all of a sudden something will cause him and he will die. This is the first point I want to emphasize. All these explanations, brother, think about it. Is death something good? It is not something good in our life. It is so miserable on this earth. What about birth? Now we want to talk about birth. We want to talk about birth now. You know, a young lady will start his life at the age of 18. Maybe from 19 to 25 years, you will get a birth. You will start giving birth to children. Before you see, he gave one, 2 years he gave second, 2 years he gave her third children. The same also is another family also will be starting giving birth to children. So it is all over the world. But the question is birth a certain? No. Birth is the happiest thing on this earth also. For your wife to deliver a baby, whether a baby girl or a baby boy for you, is one of the happiest time ever. You'll be happy because you have a baby, and children are one of the joyful thing to parents. Like for me, for example, I love children so much. I love children so much. But unfortunately, where I am now, I don't have any child with me here. I love children like this, to be on my hand, hanging on my hands, playing with that child. But unfortunately, at this moment, I don't have any child with me. But if you are my friend and subscriber, maybe you know me already, you will understand what I'm saying. Okay, so the concept of birth is one of the joyful things also on earth. There's no one who gave a birth, you say he's not happy, except the life the lady is living with the man is not what she wants, or it's not what she's expecting. Then she will disagree to bring out that child into the world. Instead, you will make abortion, and that thing will be forby, or that thing will be bygone. Sorry, I'm using German word forby, meaning is bygone. You can notice, brother, that this what do you call it? The concept of birth is something very happy. It is something very happy, which is everybody is destined to have a baby. Everybody on this earth is destined to have a baby. But it is not a mandatory that because you are a man, you must have a baby. It is up to you, your own decision. The same also to a lady. I know some people on this earth, when they were born, when they live up to their age, they don't have children. But when they're hungry for a baby, they will go and adopt. So if you compare these two things, the concept of death and the concept of life, birth, you can see the difference. But the question is, where does those children coming from? Where does those children coming from? Nobody can tell. And the other question is, where are those dead people going? Where are they going? Brothers and sisters, if you have an idea, tell me. Where are they going? And where are they coming from? These two concepts, no one can answer this except maybe in the belief of reincarnation, that human being that dies is the same human being that comes into the world. So when you compare these two things, when a human being dies at an old age or young age or middle age, the reincarnation belief system is any child that is born into the world is a child that was dead before and come again. So it means it goes on like this. In the belief of reincarnation system, human being dies, human being goes. Human being goes, human being comes. Human being comes, human being dies. It goes on like that. But the writers of Bible also wrote a story here. They analyzed something in the Bible, which I want to share with you also. In the book of the Genesis, the beginning of the Bible, Genesis chapter 7. If you are there, you can read with me. The book of Genesis chapter 7, verse 21. I will read. It says, every living thing that move on land perish. Birds, livestock, wild animals, all the creatures that swam over the earth, and all mankind. And all mankind. Everything on dry land that had the breath of life in its nostrils dies. This is the story of Noah, telling us every living thing dies. Every living thing on this earth dies. Brothers and sisters, a tree dies, bird dies, lion dies, elephant dies, all sorts of animals, they die. So also is human being. A Chinese dies, Indian dies, African died, American died, British died. All tribes and all kinds of human beings also will die. Even compared to the story of Noah, everything on this earth dies. There are some certain things that have life that can never die. Do you know what I'm talking about? Example is sea. The sea is life. The sea is an everlasting. That's why we said water is life. The sea or the ocean is an everlasting something. The wind is also life. It's an everlasting. The moon is also life, everlasting. The earth is life, everlasting. What else should I say? The river, the lake, all these things have life. But every living thing on this earth dies. Let's go to Ecclesiastes the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Don't misquote me. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 19 with me, brothers and sisters. If you are there, you can read with me Ecclesiastes 3 verse 19. Again, I read, it said, surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The fate of human beings is like that of animals. Why? Let's continue. The same fate awaits them both. The fate of an animal and the fate of a human being. As one dies, so dies. As one dies, so dies the other. As animal die, so die human being also. All have the same breath. A lion have breath in his nostrils. An elephant have breath in his nostrils. Cats have a breath in his nostrils. Chicken have a breath in his nostrils. Monkey have breath in his nostrils. You name them. That's why I say, as one dies, so dies the other. As human being dies, so dies the animal as well. As human being give birth to children, so animals also give birth to children. So our life is equal. Not that they are intelligent than us, but I'm talking about the life. The life we have. The life given from the Creator. As everything that has no breath on its nostrils dies. As animal dies, so also human being dies. All have the same breath, as I have already said. Humans have no advantage over animals. Everything is meaningless. It means human being, we don't have advantage over animals. Most especially in times of death. There's no advantage over animals. You say animals die, we will not die. You can kill a goat to make party, enjoy it. But don't forget, one day you will die. But only difference is that your own meat, we will not eat it. We will bury you. Even naturally dead animals, we don't eat it. We bury them as well. Or we burn them to ashes. There are some countries, when a human being dies, they burn them also to ashes. So you see the difference of human being and animal. If you read verse 20, all go to the same place, all come from dust, and to dust all return. Verse 21, who knows if the human spirit rises upward and if the spirit of the animal goes down into the earth? Who knows if the spirit of man rises upward and the spirit of animal goes down to the earth? Nobody knows, and nobody can explain that. Solomon, the writer of the book here, said, so I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? No one. Up to 23, no one can tell you after your death. But by believing of reincarnation, human being dies and come back again. So also animal dies and comes back again. These are the two differences of the concept of life and death. And nobody can avoid that. You cannot avoid babies. Babies will by all means come. The other one will say, I don't want to have children in my life. No problem. Others will have children. But nobody can say, I don't want to die. Even if you don't want to die, you one day die. So brothers and sisters, I want to encourage everybody who is listening to me. We will feel sorrow if our relative die. But let us believe on this conscience that it is normal. It is normal for a child to born, for a child to die. Let's take it as normal, so that you will not over sorrow. So that the money, something you want to do, use your money to do something else, you use it for that dead person, and you start from square one again. but rather save that money and do something with it. It's normal for someone to be birthed and someone to die. So as animal dies, so also human being dies. So it's normal. Even if Bible, they didn't write it in the Bible, you will see that from generation to generation, that is how it is. From generation to generation, from time to time, that is how it has been. From the days of our forefathers, that is how life has been continued. So brothers, I want to encourage you, do all what your heart can lead you to. Don't let anybody confuse you that when you die, you go to hell. God will punish you. God will judge you. Solomon, in the same Bible, say, who knows whether the spirit of an animal goes down and the spirit of man go high? Nobody can explain that. Or who knows the death after that person? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But believe that what goes around comes back around. I am John K. I hope you enjoyed this, my message. If you have any comment, you can share with me. For me, how I understand this life, I believe that animals, the way they die, that is how human being dies. So I don't feel so much sorrow if my relative die. It will pain me, of course, but I would not like that thing to break my heart. I will feel pain, but I will not let that one to bring me as useless person. No, I'll move on. I will move forward. So thank you so much. I don't want to say much again. I want to end here. And if today is your first time, once again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. With time goes on, we will share messages with you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
It all belongs to heaven. All power. Oh God, power belongs to heaven. All power belongs to you. It all belongs to you.
Likey